Hello, this is Ray from MMA Mental. This is off the back of the interview we did a few days ago with Tyson Fury, who was caused a little bit of upset really by the things he had to say, not just about Cain Velasquez, but what he had to say about MMA in general, talking about these are guys that don't train, they don't fight properly, and obviously there's a lot of guys that put a lot of hard work to get themselves ready for fights. And we're joined by one today, actually. We're joined by a top UK prospect heavyweight fighter who will be fighting for a title very soon. 4 or 5 weeks away we are now. It's Paul the Titan Taylor, and he'll be fighting for Made for the Cage. We'll give some more details out at the end of when that event is. Paul, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, you're right, no problem, mate. You alright?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. As always, I always enjoy speaking to you. What was your thoughts on what Tyson had to say?
Pretty ignorant, to be honest, mate. Unbelievable. You know, personally, and there's a lot of people that feel the same way. You know, I wouldn't dream of you know, slating another sport, let alone a sport that you don't understand or whatever. You know, I wouldn't dream of going live and saying, look, I think boxing's full of crap, this and that. You know, because it's not. It's a skill, and people don't realise that MMA is also, you know, a skill that is not given to you. You've got to go out there and obtain it. You know, it's a lot of dedication to get the required skills to be able to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, so.
I agree. And one of the things, I mean, one of the things I pointed out to him yesterday was, you know, you put yourself in a boxing ring against an MMA fighter, and there's a very good chance, you know, you're going to win. You're a boxer, but you come into an MMA arena, it's a different game. I mean, he talked a little bit about takedown defense. You know, he talked about different things. But what were some of the holes that you thought that he overlooked in what he was saying?
Well, to say that, you know, if he was taken down, he'd get straight back up. That there, you know, tells me that he doesn't understand at all anything about MMA. You know, it was just shocking, really. It really was. You know, and to say that he'd punch somebody before they took him down and stuff like that, it's just so unrealistic. You know, it's just, you know, you just listen to the guy and you think, he hasn't got a clue. Obviously, he can't have, because he just wouldn't be saying them things. Full stop. He just wouldn't, because he'd have the respect for MMA fighters instead of the trash that he's talking. And that's why, you know, that's why a lot of people are talking about it, because it's just pure trash and ignorance, really.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
I think it's fair to say we've seen this from him before, not necessarily with regards to MMA, but we've seen this from him before with regards to other fighters. Do you think this is basically a publicity stunt on his behalf?
I think so. Who knows what's going on inside of Tyson Fury's head, but it could be. I mean, you know, I've watched Tyson, you know, since he started his career. I've watched every fight that he's done, and you know, up until I heard this, you know, I thought he was a sound guy. You know what I mean, and respectful, but you know, as respectful as he needs to be. But you know, when you hear him talking about the way he has MMA guys and that, you sort of think, well, what planet is he really on? You know, to say them things in the first place. So you know, it's like you know, how many MMA fighters do you hear about that slagging boxers off? None. You know, saying, oh shit, it's no good. You know, and when we all know, you know, 9 out of 10 people know the effectiveness of boxing, but it's a totally different sport. You know, you can't possibly compare boxing and MMA. It just wouldn't be a fair fight. I'm sorry, but there might be a lot of boxers out there now who listen to this and say, oh, that's rubbish, you know, because they actually believe that they can stop a takedown by punching someone in the head, you know what I mean, before they can get into them. But it's a whole, just like boxing, you know, it's a whole, there's a lot of aspects to it, you know, and, you know, I just don't think it's fair. You know, a lot of boxers slagging it. But I mean, there is boxers out there that are educated, you know, they're slagging it off, and then now they've changed the tune when they go and do a session. And I think maybe that's what Tyson Fury needs to do, go and do a session, you know, go down to a good place, you know, he's welcome to come and train down where I do, and, you know, join in a session there, and he'll see for himself what it's all about, and maybe have a little bit more respect for MMA fighters.
Yeah, I definitely think it's an ignorant thing more than anything else. I mean, one of the things, I mean, obviously he's gone straight to the top and he's called out you know, it's fair to say the number one guy. But we all know before you join any sport, and specifically with MMA, you don't go straight in at number one. You work your way up. So to work his way up and to start on the UK scene, how would he fare on the UK scene? I mean, there is some really, really good heavyweights on the UK scene. Names that jump out to me, obviously yourself. You know, other names we're going to mention. James Thompson's well known. Neil Grove. Then we've got Ollie Thompson. We've got Phil DeFries in the UFC. Rob Broughton's in the UFC. So there is some very, very good UK heavyweights. How would he fare with those guys?
I really don't think he'd have any chance. Like, you know, and that's not me being ignorant to what he does and how good he is as a boxer, because he's very good. All them guys you just mentioned, you know, and I'm sorry this might get a few backs up, but I'm sure they agree with me. Tyson Fury will probably beat in a stand-up fight, but he would. You know, he's a class fighter. He is. You know, he's good at what he does. That's all he does is boxing, and he's learned his craft. He's winning good people. You know, but as far as fighting, you know, highly skilled people, you know, like say you know, your Stavs and your Ollie Thompsons, you know, and Rob Broughton and them sort of guys. He ain't got a chance. He hasn't got a chance, you know, and it's just shocking that he thinks that he has, you know, and I mean, Cain Velasquez is on a whole different level, you know, that's the level that everybody wants to get to. You know, every UK fighter, anybody from any country, that's the level right there that that's aspire to get to. So, you know, if he's picking on the main guy, who everybody in the country is trying to get to that level, and he's never done a thing, only boxed, and he's actually trying to call out the main guy. You know, it's just ridiculous, to be honest. It really is.
It is crazy.
Stupid. It just sounds stupid.
Absolutely. It's not come across well at all, has it?
It doesn't. No. You know, it's not very professional either. You know, of his side to even say anything like that. But you know, if that's what he feels he has to do, and that's what he has to do, isn't it? But if he wants to remain ignorant and sound stupid, then that's up to him. But if he actually wants to put his money where his mouth is, you know, there's heavyweights out there that will fight him. You know, I mean, I'm sure he'll hear this. I'll fight him myself. You know, not a problem. But I think there's more deserving guys, you know, higher up. Like I think Stab's already, he's already tweeted him saying, look, you know, I'll fight you. I think James Thompson's already been and tweeted him, I'll fight you. So you know, he's got his chance, hasn't he? You know, he's got his chance to say, you know, to prove how useless MMA fighters are. Yeah, it's right there for him.
That was going to be my next question. Would you welcome the opportunity to get into the octagon with him and you know and get into an MMA fight with him, basically? I'd love, of course, you know. He's a big name. He's a big name in the UK, and he'd be good as well, you know, to test the skills against the boxer. But me personally, as confident as he's in his skills, I'm confident in mine. You know, I think I know what'll happen. I'm not going to stand with the guy, am I? Just like probably 99% of people wouldn't. So, you know, but it's, you know, the offer's there anyway. You know, there's another heavyweight here also. You know, we'll put the offer forward to fight him. So. Brilliant. Right. Before we go, obviously people are hearing you talk the talk now, but it's fair to say you're not just about talking the talk. We know you walk the walk as well. You're fighting in 5 weeks in Sunderland. Can you name the promotion you're fighting for and the guy you're fighting and what you're fighting for as well, please?
Yeah, it's on Made for the Cage. It's Dale Percival's show, and it's against a guy called Chris Petrie.
And it's for the heavyweight title as well, isn't it? Is that correct?
Yeah. It's for the Made for the Cage heavyweight title.
Brilliant. Well, I want to say, Paul. Sorry, Paul. I really appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate it once again, speaking to us. I always love speaking with you, and we look forward to seeing you become the next heavyweight champion for Made for the Cage.